What's going on, lovely people? Welcome into the show. You're tuned in with Fred and Dre, and this is the Flea Flicker Show. What's going on, Fred?
Not too much, Dre. I'm happy to be here with you. Happy to talk some football and get this shit underway.
Yeah, I'm ready to do it too. Before I even start though, I did want to say like, comment, subscribe, because I'm forgetting to say it at the beginning of videos. I got to start saying it at the beginning. So like, comment, subscribe. You're going to like it.
And comment about Dre holding the L again. That's 3 weeks in a row now that he's holding that L. So
yeah, it's getting a little old, to be honest. I'm ready to lend it back to you. I made a thick one. Maybe it'll give me a little more luck with this
maybe,
week. Actually,
maybe, hopefully your sake, because mine was pretty thick after week one, and I only held it for 1 week. So
yeah, I have a good one for this week, though. I have a good one, and you're definitely going to take it. But yeah, let's get right into it. The week 5 picks. Last week had some good games, overtime games, some fun stuff, a few surprises, and some injuries. Of course, they get them every year. This week, I feel like when I was going through the games this week, there weren't too many games where I was like confused on who to pick. I was like, these seem easy to me, which means that it's probably going to be really crazy this week.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, there were a couple games. It wasn't a full slate, but there were a few.
There's definitely a few, yeah. But yeah, a few things I want to hit before we get into the games. Chase Claypool with the Bears. The Bears are finally saying they're like done with him. They're either planning on trading him, probably for like a late round pick, or just straight up cut him and let him try to find a new team. He's been just bad with the team. He isn't meshing with the teammates and the staff and the coaches, and he hasn't gotten anything going on the field. I think he has like 1 touchdown. I don't even know if he has more than a catch, to be honest.
Right.
So
I got a lot of talent.
Yeah, he looked
he's
really
better than
good
he is.
sometimes for like the Steelers.
He thinks he's like Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson, but not like
Yeah, he's got the superstar mentality, but he's not showing it on the field.
not at all, dude. Like, also he's from Canada. Since when do Canadians play football?
Well, they do have a league there, but you know, I see.
Yeah, most of the players are from the U.S.
True, that's very true. But I wanted to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 teams that I put on this list for teams that like maybe I thought could trade for him to try to get like you said when we were talking about like a third option or something like that. So I want to get your take on these 6 teams that I mentioned here. Maybe you can add another one if you want, but I said maybe the Bills, because I mean they got Gabe Davis going, and obviously they have Diggs, but getting Chase Claypool in there would make that even more dangerous there. And I think he would be solid.
Deep threat for Allen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'd be a good place for him because it's like a winning team. Like he's not going to be able to talk his talk there because they're going to be like, hey man, you sit and you play or whatever. So I think that's a good spot for him possibly. I threw the Texans in here. I think they do like their young crew, but at the same time, a Chase Claypool talent, that's something that they could use. CJ Stroud would probably be able to get them going. I don't know if they
a wild card option because I feel like he's a similar skill set to Mechie.
True. Yeah. I don't know if they would necessarily want somebody that's kind of seen as being tough to deal with this year either, but maybe. I put the Titans in there just because they're struggling on offense, so they might want to try to get some talent in there to use. Another one from the same division, I got the Colts in there because after Pittman, they've kind of been like struggling a little bit to get stuff going.
They do have Josh Downs. He's a rookie, but he's good.
Okay.
I'm pretty optimistic for Downs' future, and Pierce is no slouch as well. Alec Pierce.
True.
I think he's pretty solid, but Josh Downs is really good, and he's good in the slot. Yeah, keep going.
Then I put the Ravens just because they're like always looking for another receiver to hopefully work with Lamar.
Because they all drop like flies.
Yeah, they're so injured. And then I put the Chiefs just because they just don't seem to have that number 1 receiver, basically. Like none of them have been stepping up for him yet. So maybe they could be like, hey, Chase Claypool, throw a 7th rounder to him. I don't know.
Yeah, out of there, I like the Bills as an option. Having another person there to catch balls besides Diggs and Davis. I really thought Kincaid would step up a little bit more so far this year since they are using him in a lot of different packages, but he just hasn't. And I also like the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a really good spot. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can do a lot with a little. So putting a huge talent in there. I mean, Kadarius Toney is a huge talent, but he's also prone to drop. So
Yeah.
um, putting someone like Claypool in there, you could see a boom year for him and possibly his best season if he goes to the Chiefs. But some other ones that I think would make sense. Dallas. I don't like it, but it could work. They've had a lot of issues with Cooks actually getting on the field, so having another weapon there. The Bengals with T. Higgins going down with injury.
I thought about that too.
Another option, but are they going to compete? Really depends how Burrow does over the next few games. The Bucks depend on the severity of Mike Evans' injury. If Mike Evans is down for a significant amount of time, having him there, they are competing in their own division. So if they have the aspiration of going to the playoffs and making noise, having another option there to throw to. I mean, I do like Trey Palmer there, but he is a rookie, still learning a little bit. And then my Eagles.
Of course, you got to throw the Eagles in there.
Hey,
if there's a trade possibility, why wouldn't you throw the Eagles in there? Howie is a trader.
I like Quez Watkins. I like Zacchaeus, but I don't know that they're not as good as Claypool. If it could be had for a late round pick, why not bring him in? Really, any team that can bring him in, I think, has to be a stable organization with a good coaching staff and veteran leadership around him. So he can't go in and be able to talk shit and act like the big man on campus when he walks in and tries to talk shit against half those teams, the Eagles, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Bills. There's so many people there that'll put him in his place.
Yeah, true. And honestly, that's just what like good franchises do. They trade nothing for like a big talent that's struggling on a bad team, and they turn it around a lot of the time. Let's go with another trade though here. J.C. Jackson just got traded in a late pick swap. He goes from the Chargers, where he was kind of just struggling to get stuff together with the Chargers defense. I don't know if it was I think they were kind of just misusing him. I don't know what the heck they're doing over there on the defensive side, but the Patriots get him back, late round pick. Pats have a lot of injuries and DB, so it makes a lot of sense for him. And he did really well there before, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense for him to go back to a familiar place, and since they did lose their first round pick there for the season, Gonzalez. That's huge. Gonzalez he was looking really good as a corner, and losing him for the season sucks. But they got a familiar face back in the roster.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool for them, I suppose. I don't like the Pats, but yeah. And then right before we actually recorded, you broke news to me that Randy Gregory just got cut by the Broncos. That's pretty crazy news. He has been struggling for them. He just got benched, I believe, last game. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but they just signed him last year for a huge deal.
$70 million.
Yeah, and cutting him, it makes $22 million in dead cap over this year and next year, which is insane.
Yeah.
I maybe I get it. They're like ripping the Band-Aid, but did they even try to trade him? I don't
think so. Like, you got to imagine you could have gotten something for him if you're going to eat $20 million anyway. You got to think that there's something that can be negotiated there, at least with some type of asset back. But just sending him away for nothing and then eating that 20 mil is crazy. I mean, he got their first sack of the season, which didn't happen until they played until week 3. But he hasn't lived up to his contract, but he's still one of the better defenders on that team. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He has his pick of the litter now, depending on who's interested. And will he go back to the Cowboys? Who's he going to go to?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if this is like the first domino of the season for the Broncos. Like, could Sean Payton be just
cleaning house?
Like, will Russell Wilson be here next year? He's got a huge dead cap, but clearly Sean Payton doesn't care too much about dead cap at this point.
Clearly not.
Yeah. And then one last note I wanted to mention, Chandler Jones saga. I'm probably not going to mention him again this year, but yeah, he got released. We've kind of documented it a little bit. He's been having a very rough time outside of the league, and we wish the best for him. Hopefully he returns. Like we've both said before, he is a very talented player from our hometown, and we just wish the best for him and his brothers.
Yeah. Wish the best for him, wish the best for his family, and it's just a huge talent and a great person, I think, that is just going through a really tough time. It seems that there is some mental health issues going on there with him and his family from John Jones and the issues that he goes through. So I just wish the best for them and his recovery, and hope to see him back on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm ready to get into the game. What do you have, though? Do you have any more things you want?
I'm fucking ready, dude. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. 9:30 a.m. The Jags are staying in London. The Bills are coming to them. It's technically a Bills home game, which kind of sucks for their schedule, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know if this will be a good game or just a Bills domination game, to be honest, because the Jags have a lot of talent, but they've been starting very slow. Last week against the Falcons in London, they did pretty good, though, like the whole game. We'll see if Zay Jones plays. For the Bills, though, this could be a Von Miller return game, which would their defense is already loaded, so this would be huge.
Lose Tre'Davious White, get Von Miller.
Yeah. I forgot about Tre'Davious White. That is a big blow. But I think the Bills defense is probably going to be too much for this Jags team. It could be a close one, like I said, but if Von Miller gets back, I feel like he could have a big game, just wanting to show the world, like, hey, I'm back. Don't forget about me,
Literally the world, because they're playing in Europe. So
yeah. But I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, I think that's a smart choice, and I think Sir Josh Allen there is going to. He's about to give the Jags a roller treatment. He's going to tear it up. He's going to tear it up. He's the Jags defense can't hang with Buffalo. Buffalo's offense. I mean, they just put up 42 points on the Dolphins, and they held the Dolphins' offense at bay. Like, they're going to hold the Jags at bay, especially the way the Jags are struggling right now. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll have some jet lag going into the game, but you can't pick against the Bills in this.
Yeah. I totally agree. It could be another
Buffalo.
Your boy Cooks will probably get another touchdown stolen. So that'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to see you upset again next week when that happens.
He probably will. I did just trade for Calvin Ridley too in our league, and I hope he does something with Whiteout now. So he's got.
Yeah, he could.
I'm buying the resurgence of Calvin Ridley for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and you said the Jags are like 50-50 or something in London. So, I mean, if they lose this game, they stay at that pace. So,
yeah.
All right, let's move to the 1 p.m. games. Atlanta, the Texans are coming to town. This one could be a good one. I'm very interested in your take on it, though, actually.
Yeah, there's two players I really like in this game on both sides. I love Bijan Robinson, huge Texas Longhorns guy. So, Bijan Robinson he's the truth. He's so good. But I do love CJ Stroud as well. I think CJ Stroud is a great quarterback. It's really high on him coming.
A couple of stud rookies.
Yeah, really good rookies. And I mean, both rookies are playing at like Pro Bowl level. And it's crazy to watch. Two guys come in and take the league by storm like that. But at the end of the day, I think this one is pretty obvious to me. It comes down to the quarterback play, and Stroud is playing on a completely other level than Ritter. Ritter doesn't look like he belongs in the league, and Stroud looks elite. So I see a Texas-sized reality check here for the Falcons, and they're going to end up having to go to the well again and get a new quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I wanted to see what your take on it. I said like basically the same thing though. Like after talking up CJ Stroud all week, there's no way I'm not taking him against Ritter. The only way the Falcons have a chance, in my opinion, is if Bijan makes a lot of noise.
Goes off. Like he has to go off. He has to put up like a game like McCaffrey did last week.
So we are in lockstep with the first 3 games. We'll see if
really different pace than last week.
Yeah, this one's probably going to be the same. Panthers heading to Detroit against the Lions. The Lions did lose Brian Branch. We'll see if he can play in this one. I'm not sure right now. Hopefully, because he's very talented. But yeah, the Lions should win this one, in my opinion. I think probably in your opinion too. We'll see what you say, but they're just more talented in like basically every position. And
yeah, basically.
Yeah, I just think Goff, St. Brown probably have a big game. Montgomery might have another big one if they pull away. Yeah, I don't trust the Panthers. So yeah, taking the Lions.
Yeah, I don't trust the Panthers at all either. And the Lions they're living up to their namesake of the apex predator that a lion is, and they're going to come in like smell blood in the water and just pounce. The Panthers aren't good. The Panthers are terrible. Bryce Young at quarterback, they're even worse. Andy Dalton, as old as he is, he still allows them to be a competent offense, and I have a lot more faith in their offense with him there. But even if he was playing, this is still a Lions game. Lions are a legitimate playoff team, and they have a good defense. They have a really good offense. They're taking this.
Yeah, I think that'll be kind of a bad game. We'll see if Bryce Young and the Panthers can do something, but I just think the Lions are going to dominate for sure.
Hutchinson's going to be in the backfield all day.
Yes, yep. Let's move to one that I think could be our first split. We'll see. Titans heading into Indianapolis against the Colts. I think this one could be a good one. I'm not sure. It really depends. Injuries, Treylon Burks could miss the game. Jonathan Taylor could come back. He's been practicing this week. I have no idea if he even wants to play for this team at this point, but he is at practice, so this could be a game where he comes back. That could help the Colts a lot. He's very talented. So
speaking of Jonathan Taylor, I did see one team that reached out to the Colts recently about getting him. They have a stud rookie running back in Kyren Williams, and that could shake things up there. Kyron's really the only threat in that backfield right now, but they did call the Colts about Jonathan Taylor, so
that'd be huge.
That'd be huge. That offense would be filthy. They got Jonathan Taylor to add to Cooper Kupp, Puka, Tutu, and Kyren coming out the backfield. That's a filthy offense.
You know, that's interesting. Maybe the Rams want to see him first this year, see if he's been keeping himself in shape and everything. Possible. Maybe JT comes in and plays this game and is running hard because he wants to trade to the Rams. I don't know. But I don't know. This is an interesting game. I think it could be a close one. The Colts have kind of been more trustworthy so far. They've scored more than 20 each week. But the Titans defense could force the rookie Richardson into making some big mistakes, because that's what good defenses do to rookies, other than CJ Stroud. But I don't know. We'll see. For the Titans, Tannehill's probably due for another stinker. He's been, like I said last week, he's been kind of Two-Face. He's good game, bad game, good game. He's in line for a bad game, but I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Titans defense in this one and just hope that I'm right. It could be a good one.
Yeah, split alert here. You called it. I'm not going with Titans. They are performing pretty well lately. Derrick Henry is a huge threat. Their defense is solid. I just think the Colts aren't horsing around. They mean business. They're a better team in my eyes, and I have the Colts coming away with this one. I do think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think the Colts are a better overall team, and I like their coaching better.
I don't know. I like the Titans coaches. Maybe not the offensive side, I suppose, but
I was a little bit biased though, because it's their head coach was our offensive coordinator here in Philly last year. So I really like Steichen though. I liked him before he came to the Eagles. So I just think he's a really good offensive mind, and the defense is good enough to slow down the Titans, I feel. But yeah, it should be a good game nonetheless.
I think this is one to really watch and see Anthony Richardson, because should be a good defense against him, and it'll be interesting to see if because he was kind of berated for his decision making before he got drafted.
Pretty solid so far though.
Yeah.
And if he has good decision making with his skill set, dude, sky's the limit. He has a cannon for an arm. Dude can run with anyone in the league. He's big body. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. I'm definitely going to be watching it. Let's move. The Giants are heading to Miami. I don't want to talk about this one much. I'm disgusted by the Giants entirely. But yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins. The Giants, we don't even know if Saquon will be back. Andrew Thomas might not be back still. The defense looked better last week, so maybe that will help against the Dolphins. No, it won't. The Dolphins are going to destroy them. Get out of here. The only solace we really have in this one is if the Giants offense can figure out something against the Dolphins defense that has been very shaky. So maybe some of the Giants receivers go off. I don't know. I'm picking the Dolphins.
Yeah, really until Saquon Barkley comes back, I don't think the offense can really take off. I mean, you know more than I do as a Giants fan. You pay more attention to them, but I just think there's too much for them to handle with the Dolphins, with Waddle, with Hill, with a chain back there in the backfield, and you never know what Giants team is going to show up. But I just think Giants are going to be swimming with the fishes in this one, and they might be dead in the water already. So,
yeah, it's really sad. Reek and Waddle are going to be going up against two rookies in this one, so that's not great.
That's not great for those rookies. But if they slowed them down, it's a great outlook for the Giants' future.
Yeah, the rookies have been doing good this year. Just they haven't been facing Reek and Waddle,
two top 10 receivers.
Yeah. Let's push. We're gonna go to Foxborough. The Saints are heading to town, taking on the Pats. This one I'm not entirely sure what to think. I think it could be a good game. We'll see. Derek Carr was playing pretty bad last week with in the wake of that shoulder injury. I'm assuming he's going to play again. He seems kind of like a tough nut. Christian Gonzalez, we talked about it. He's going to miss probably the whole season now. They did trade for J.C. Jackson. We'll see if he comes in like this week to play or if he's got to sit and learn a little bit. I'm not sure. He probably does know. Like, it's still the same defense, I think, since J.C. Jackson was there. So see, I don't know. It could be a close game, like maybe down to the wire. I don't know. What do you think?
This could be the shit bowl of the week. Honestly, like both offenses look.
I know you're really low on the Pats.
I hate Mac Jones, dude. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think Zappy's much better. I think he's better in terms of running the offense, but Mac Jones plays like a game manager, but isn't a game manager. So you need somebody that can do something with the ball. And in my eyes, said it again last week, saying it now, Will Grier. Give him a spot. Let him play. Let him sling the rock. And I just think they got to see what they have in Grier before the draft to see if they have to draft one or if they have somebody there to take the helm. But I think the same game is carnage waiting to happen. The Saints win. If Carr's healthy at all, if Carr's healthy at all, I think the Saints win. This could be just a really boring game. Kamara could do really well as well, but I just think the Saints are a better built team.
Ooh, so you're making this the stinker of the week. I like it.
Yeah.
You wanna do that? That's cool. I do the game of the week. You can pick the stinker of the week. That's perfect.
Stinker of the week. Put a little poop emoji on screen.
But the Pats need a win here. They're 1-3, so I feel like Belichick's gonna get these guys rolling in this one. But yeah, like you said, it really comes down to Mac Jones. Can he come back from one of his worst games as a NFL player? Really. They've had a very rough schedule to start off with some like really good teams. They had the Cowboys. I think they played the Niners, right, and the Jets.
Talking about
really
the Pats?
good defense. Or Dolphins.
The Pats.
Yeah.
They started with the Eagles.
And the Eagles, yeah, they've had some tough games. So I think they could be better than what their record shows and how Mac Jones was looking last week. So I think this game really will show us if they're a team that can fight for the playoffs or not in this one. I'm going to take the Pats, though. So another split here. I don't know. Derek Carr was checking down the ball a lot last week. He doesn't look the same with the shoulder injury. So I'm going to take the Pats defense, really. That's what it's coming down to for me.
All right.
Splitting it, baby. Let's move to a good divisional game here. The Ravens are heading to Pittsburgh. These are always fun games in this division, no matter who's playing, except for last week. But we won't talk about that. The Ravens still have a lot of injuries. The Steelers also have quite a few injuries now. Kenny Pickett and Pat Freiermuth both got hurt. Freiermuth is not going to make it to this game with his hamstring, and we're not sure of Kenny Pickett right now. The Ravens won with their slew of injuries last week against a Browns team that was supposed to be good. Granted, they lost their quarterback, but hey, the Steelers are too, right? So basically, what I'm going to say is I don't trust a healthy Kenny Pickett against the Ravens. I'm definitely not going to trust a hurt one or Mitch Trubisky. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't trust Mitch Trubisky against anybody. And I think for this game, you could cue like one of those Civil War movie entrances where it shows like all the soldiers with like their arms blown off and like their heads all wrapped, screaming in a tent. Just with the players on both sides. There's so many injuries on both sides of the ball here. It's insane. And the amount of reserves that are playing this is crazy. But I got a little channeled my inner Edgar Allan Poe here and did a little poetry action. So once upon a midnight dreary, the Ravens took a field so eerie. The Steelers, once proud and strong, fall victim to the Ravens song. So I think the Ravens are winning this.
Wow.
I think the Ravens are taking it.
That was really good.
Lamar Jackson's really good, and there's no QB for the Steelers.
Did you just make that up? Did you steal that from somewhere?
I didn't. Made it up this morning.
Wow, look at that. See, everyone's got to like and subscribe just for that, for God's sakes. That was really good, though. Yeah, so we're both taking the Ravens. Yeah, Steelers have been disappointing. Ravens are 3-1 with that beat-up team, so that's like saying something for John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, seriously, it is. And the way a lot of teams in the AFC are playing, the Ravens can make a huge playoff push.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that one. Let's move to the 4 p.m. games. This one is another tough one for me. The Bengals are heading into Arizona. This is a weird matchup because it's a team that's like playing very poorly from what we thought and a team that's playing very well from what we thought. Like when this was put on the schedule, I don't think anyone circled it and said that this could be a good game.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but weirdly, it could be a close one. The Bengals, T. Higgins, rib injury. He's probably going to miss this one. I think he is going to miss this one, actually. I don't know if the Bengals of what? I don't know if the Bengals of old will ever show up. They're 1-3, and they really need a win here. If they lose, I'm probably just done with them. Maybe I should be already. I don't know. Joe Burrow doesn't look like Joe Burrow. The offense isn't doing anything. The defense had like one good game. It's not good. But I'm going to pick them. I'm going to pick them. I thought about picking the Cardinals really hard. I really did, just because they're playing better than the Bengals right now.
Yeah.
But I'm picking the Bengals because they need this win. They know they need this win. And this is a Cardinals team that they should beat, even with the way that they're playing.
Yeah,
if they lose, I'm done with them.
Without a healthy Burrow, the Bengals are just they're missing their roar. They're missing they're missing the strength of the offense. I mean, the offense ends and dies with Joe Burrow. It begins and dies with him. And if he's not there, if he's not healthy, they can't really do much. And we're splitting here because I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm riding.
I'm not surprised.
And this might be one that people might want to throw money on Arizona. The Bengals are favored in this game, despite how they're playing, and Arizona is playing at home. At home is where they beat Dallas, so they might come to play and send the Bengals packing.
Could you imagine if the Cardinals like not only win this game, but they like spank the Bengals? Because I could see that actually happening.
Yeah, little Josh Dobbs action.
That'd be so sad. Like, just sit. If that happens, just sit Burrow for like the next 3 weeks. Like,
just cut him.
Cut him, man. It's over.
Except in Dynasty, but in a redraft league, if he loses this game, I think you got to seriously consider cutting him, depending who's on the wire. But yeah, I mean, I got Cardinals in this one, so we're splitting again.
I meant the Bengals sit him, but so when you said cut him, I was like, oh my god.
No, I'm in fantasy.
Fantasy, yeah. All right, let's move though. Let's move. Your game, the Eagles, going to LA facing the Rams. This is my game of the week. I think it's going to be a really good one.
It'll be a really good game.
I don't know who to pick. What do you think? Yeah.
it'll be a really good game, and I'm just happy that Cooper Kupp's not back. But Rams are going to be feeling a little bit sheepish after this game. I think Eagles soar to victory.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. I gotta pick my Eagles. Like I'm not gonna pick against them. I mean they're good, so I'm picking with them. But I think Kyron Williams can get bottled up in this one. Philly's only allowing 45 rushing yards a game, so not going to be too much to do there for him. And Puka and Tutu are good. They're still going to do work, but they should have a tough assignment with Bradbury and Slay. Hurts looked really good last week in the second half. Second half, he looked really good, in sync with his receivers. I hope they build upon that, and I got the Eagles. But I do think it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually looking up Cooper Kupp right now because I know that they were saying that he could come back because he's eligible to return now. It all depends on how his hamstring
feels. I think he's practicing this week, but from what I read, he's not anticipating playing this week. And I was like, oh, thank God.
I could definitely see that, but I am going to put a question mark on it because it hasn't been decided yet if he's not is or not. But yeah, signs probably, like you said, pointing to him not playing yet. I really hope he does play because I would love to see Coop and Puka against this Eagles team that's been kind of underperforming, even though they are very talented. But yeah, I couldn't resist. I am taking the Rams, and I am making this our split game to decide who gets the L because I just couldn't resist, and I want to see you take 2 L's if the Eagles lose.
All right, we'll do this can be game of the week here.
Yeah, Stafford is possibly going to be playing injured, but he's a fucking tank, so definitely playing. Could be a crazy game though.
I see this one kind of similar to how it was when the Rams played the Bengals and Stafford was running for his life.
Could be.
I see Jalen Carter getting the backfield a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely probably should pick the Eagles, but I like I said, I couldn't resist. I am taking the Rams.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really good game.
Let's go to the
next. Yeah, Jets heading to Denver. High altitude game in the Broncos stadium. Yeah, Javonte Williams got hurt, but their backup kind of looked better than him, like you said in the last video. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't know. I didn't really want to pick either of these teams when we saw them on the schedule together.
Yeah, this is like runner up for the shit bowl this week. So this could be bad, really bad. Could be good. I don't know. We'll see. But ultimately, I think the Broncos can't handle the turbulence, and the Jets defense is too much for them to handle. So I have the Jets winning this. Zach Wilson looked pretty solid last week against a good Chiefs defense. He should do pretty decent against a bad Broncos defense.
Yeah. I think the Broncos have just really found ways to lose to everyone not named the Bears so far this year. So I think they're going to continue that trend. And Zach Wilson is probably just going to look decent enough to fool the Jets into keeping him around. So, yeah, Jets win a stinker. Yeah, let's head to Minnesota. The Chiefs are taking on the Vikings in a possibly good game. I'm not entirely sure. The Vikings are weird enough where I could see them like shocking the Chiefs here in a close game because that's kind of just what they do most of the time. Just play close games. Mahomes, though, he really needs to focus on the game in this one after a weird off game for him, as they seem to be getting a little lost in the spotlight here with the whole Swiftie action. This one could be a shootout.
I don't know that Taylor Swift will be in attendance in Minnesota, so he should have that distraction not there, but it'll be interesting, and they won't have the star-studded box that's there with Donna Kelsey. So, I mean, last week they had who did we say? They had Taylor Swift, Ryan Reynolds, Paul Rudd, Blake Lively, Sophie Turner, Hugh Jackman, Kendall Roy from Succession, Anthony Porowski, like
a lot of guys,
a lot of people, all there to watch the Chiefs. So they're all socializing with Patrick's wife. So she has probably loved every single minute of it. But
yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think,
force feeding Kelsey last week, not necessary situations.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so hopefully they don't go back to doing that in this one. But it is against a kind of a struggling Vikings defense, so maybe they could do that and be fine.
yeah,
Any, but yeah, I think this could be a shootout. I'm gonna take the Chiefs just because you got to take the Chiefs against the Vikings, really. But yeah,
yeah. It's interesting you say you got to take the Chiefs because
are
skull.
you actually are you actually taking the
I am
Vikings?
taking the Vikings. This
Wow, that
is
surprises me.
a real wild take for me, but I'm taking the Vikings in this and riding with Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a game, and you like that, right?
Dude, I like that. I mean, honestly, this could be the game of the week if the Vikings come out shooting, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that. We're
This
splitting
is
here.
this could be a game of the week if the Eagles didn't play a team that you thought was going to beat them. So,
Is that what
yeah.
you were thinking when you
No,
picked the Vikings?
it's not. My game of the week is actually probably the next one. If you want to
Sunday
move
night,
that.
baby. Yeah, Sunday night. This is possibly going to be a really good one. The Cowboys heading into dangerous territory against the 49ers at home in San Francisco. Yeah, Sunday night football. Time for the boys to put up or shut up against a very good 49ers team that will not let the offense just sit back and coast like they have been doing. Could be a good one. Maybe even should be a good one. But I'm taking the 49ers in what I am going to say is going to be a shockingly easy win. Dak and the offense are going to break down against this team, and Brock is going to remain steady in the face of pressure and take the win.
I love every piece of that take, and probably a good reason this is the game of the week because we're not splitting on it. So I'm also picking the 49ers. There's two opportunistic defenses here, but ultimately I think it comes down to the QB, and I'm taking the QB that I think will take care of the ball and not. I think they're taking care of the ball and is going to have a Purdy game. So I'm taking Purdy and San Francisco.
Yeah, we're in lockstep on that one.
Yeah, we're good. That we can move on. I think we're all set on that one.
It'll be really interesting to see if we're both eating our words by this time next week. But I don't think so.
I mean, the 49ers haven't had a tough schedule to this point. I mean, the combined record of their teams they've played are 6-10. Last year under Brock Purdy, they had the teams had a 46% winning percentage. So they haven't faced a lot of good teams, but we'll see how it goes here. I just don't trust Dak against this defense.
Yeah, me either. Let's move to the last game on the schedule. Monday Night Football. The Packers are heading into Vegas to take on the Raiders. This one is interesting. I'm not sure what to think about it too much. Elton Jenkins is probably going to miss this one. We're not sure yet. He's questionable. And Jimmy G for the Raiders is still in concussion protocol at this moment. So we're not sure if he's going to be there for the Raiders. But yeah, Jimmy G or Aiden O'Connell are probably going to struggle, in my opinion, against the Packers. So I'm taking the Packers. I think Love should have a better game with a struggling defense. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of love in this matchup. But I think for me, it really depends on Jimmy G. I trust Jimmy G more than O'Connell. O'Connell had a good game last week, but the Chargers' defense is pretty bad. So I trust Jimmy.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
I trust Jimmy in this one compared to him. So if Jimmy plays, I'm taking the Raiders. I'm riding silver and black in this, but if he doesn't play, I think it's going to be the Packers. And if you're fine with that little caveat there, then if Jimmy G plays, I got Raiders.
Yeah, that's fine. Jimmy G, he's had some tough games, multiple interception games. So, I mean, maybe he'll get back to being Jimmy G, but I fully do not trust this offense, no matter who's that quarterback who they have. So,
yeah, this was a tough one for me though. Like I was going really back and forth on either team here. Like the Raiders have a lot of pieces to be good. It just comes down to coaching and quarterback play. I think Jimmy G is a competent quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but the play calling, the coaching hasn't been really that good. And I mean, it hasn't been great on the Packers side either. And in my mind, it's been a little bit stale. And
Yeah.
but Love has been able to perform. I think it's going to be a revenge game for Devonta Adams, and
Yeah.
he's someone that you don't want to be on the bad side of. So
Dangerous man.
yeah.
I don't know. I think Aaron Jones could have a big one though in this one too on the Packers.
It should be good. It could be an excellent game. It could be a very underrated, like game of the week kind of
It could be
option there. But
yeah, and the Raiders are like a cornered animal right now at 1-3 in prime time. So
yeah,
maybe we get a nice one out of them. We'll see. But yeah, that wraps up all of the games of the week. We do have the first bye week though, with 4 teams on bye. We got the Brownies, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and the Bucks all getting their early bye week here, which a lot of teams don't like this early bye week because, it leaves so much space for more injuries to happen after the bye week, which is unfortunate. But I think some of these teams kind of need it at this point,
Right.
The Brownies, Watson has been hurt. Bucks, Mike Evans hurt his hammy. They could probably use a bye week to make sure he's healthy. The Chargers, Justin Herbert apparently broke a finger. He could use a week to heal that up. And Eckler has been hurt, so this gives him another week to rest.
Huge for him.
Yeah, but I'm going to go over some of these teams and what I think they kind of need to happen. I'm going to do it quick here because we've been talking for a while. Yeah, the Browns though, they're 2-2. I think they need to really figure out their offensive identity now that since Chubb has been gone for a couple weeks now. Because I think they really need to do that to want to try to make it to the playoffs. Really, will they get Watson going in this passing game? Because that's really what they need to do at this point.
Someone outside of Mark Cooper. They have more. Yeah. They drafted Tillman, who isn't getting much usage at all, but is a huge target and should be used in the red zone. But yeah, they have options to beat Njoku's too. Like he's a freak, dude. Like utilize him.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's what the Browns need to do. Figure out that offensive identity with their bye week. The Chargers, also 2-2. They really need to get better at winning close games. Like they are too talented to just be the Vikings of last year, winning these close games and hoping and praying and then getting beat by the Giants in the playoffs. That is not who the Chargers should be. And I think that really comes down to their coaching. Brandon Staley. He hasn't been great in my opinion. He seems to be losing them the games when it comes down to it. And I don't know. He needs to figure something out. He's got a bye week to do that. And hopefully they can figure something out with that.
Yeah, hopefully they can get Eckler back too, because he's huge. So huge piece of their future and of their playoff hopes.
Yeah. Seahawks, they are 3-1. They've had quite a good start. They kind of just need to keep it up. Like they've been rough on third down, which is something they definitely need to work on because that's huge. And yeah, that's basically it in my opinion. I don't know if you know something off the top of your head for them, but
no, not at all. They need to keep it up. Let's go, Gino. I like to see Gino do something well. So keep it up.
Yeah, I think they're probably the team pissed off the most about this early bye week because they don't necessarily need it. They do have some.
Yeah, you don't want an early one. You don't want a late one either. I mean, you're going into the end of the year. If you have any type of momentum, that kind of kills it. So right in the middle where it's a happy place,
And then last but not least, we got the Buccaneers. They are 3-1 and leading the division. They're doing pretty solid in most aspects. Baker's been pretty good with Mike Evans and the offense, and the defense has been doing really well, like they did against the Eagles. So, kind of for the most part, I think they did pretty well.
472 yards of offense isn't great. So.
Yeah, it's a talented offense, but yeah, I think their biggest issue though is that they need to get that running game going because they haven't really been doing anything with. I can't think of him off the top of my head. Do you know that running back's name?
For Tampa?
Yeah.
Rachaad White.
Rachaad White, yeah, thank you. Yeah, they need to get him going in that
offense. I mean, he's good. I do think long term, maybe by the end of this season or next year, I think it's going to evolve into more of a committee because I do think that the running back that they got from Syracuse is very good. I think he's not someone to be overlooked. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's someone that Sean Tucker. He's someone that I was very high on going into the draft, and he's a huge talent there that can really help out the offense too.
Yeah, so that's what we got for the bye week teams. Unless you wanted to hit anything else there.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so that wraps it up. Yeah, that was a fun one to go over. Please, again, I'm going to say it, like, comment, subscribe. If you agree with anything, if you don't like what we said, if you don't like us trashing the Patriots and Cowboys, please let us know. We'll trash you in the comments. But, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Fred, what do you got?
Yeah, you can check us out every Tuesday on Instagram. We're going to be showcasing our waiver wire ads of the week. Win your week, win your season. Wednesday, we got recaps coming out for the games from the previous week. Thursdays, you got start sit 'em. It's red light, green light with me for the starts and sits of the week, as well as a weekly preview to the predictions with Thursday night's game. So Fridays, we release the full predictions for the weekend slates. So take a look and subscribe, listen, follow. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast, obviously here on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yeah, and Fred's fantasies have been coming true, so make sure you check those out. Until then, though, man, we'll see y'all. Peace. Let's go. Giants, we suck.
See you, Fleabag Nation.